talking about a Halloween movie, and I am filming this in January, so I'm either very late or very early for this one. So the movie in question is the movie Trick. Now this one is directed by Patrick Lussier, who actually has somewhat of a horror pedigree. He has done the My Bloody Valentine remake in 2009, he has done the Dracula 2000 and its 2 sequels, and also Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage. So he has had some experience in, relatively kind of like medium budget horror movies before. Certainly ones that had a kind of a cinema release at least. So here he is in Trick, which is a slasher film at its heart. And the concept of this movie is that one Halloween, it takes over a period of about 4 years. But it starts off in 2015, I believe it is, where we have this guy called Patrick, and they shorten it to Trick, hence the name Trick, and obviously Trick or Treat. He is this kind of like this guy at this kind of Halloween party that is a little bit of a kind of alone. He's very quiet, no one kind of knows him very well, etc. And he's wearing this kind of mask. And all of a sudden, he decides he's going to go on this kind of killing spree, and ends up killing everyone at this kind of this house party. And then every year he seems to be coming back, despite being seemingly gravely wounded by the kind of the police in the kind of in the first 2015 assault, essentially. And the police are headed up by Omar Epps, who you may know from, I think, Scream. Jamie Kennedy's also in this, also from Scream. I think one of the Screams anyway. And so they kind of like this police guy is, very kind of grounded, and he thinks he starts to think maybe there's supernatural stuff going on. This guy's pure evil because he seems to be taking a lot of punishment. And every year, every Halloween, the bodies start to kind of mount up, and what are you going to do? It goes right up to 2019. So I've seen some kind of opinions on this movie, and it seems to be a particularly divisive film, with some people really enjoying the kind of like the high body count, the kind of the twist that inevitably comes with this movie, that I have to say is literally straight out of the Scream films, mentioning them. So it's not exactly that it's a fresh twist. It comes from one of the Scream movies, and has some kind of like fun kind of like ninja-like action sequences from our antagonist, but others really kind of hate it. So where do I sit on it? So I feel, let's talk about what works first of all. I feel the kind of the point of view of the police I like. Obviously these guys are going to be the kind of the point of view characters in most kind of like serial killers and stuff like that. So I enjoyed the fact that we have this police detective who is questioning his own beliefs, because the way these kind of murders are going seem initially like it's just your kind of run-of-the-mill kind of maniac first of all, but as kind of the movie progresses and things get more fantastic, he's kind of questioning whether it's kind of a supernatural thing without really necessarily seeing anything on the screen. It's the sort of the feats that this trick is able to do, and it is explained how that happens. But it kind of starts to question whether if there's something more than normal going on here. I have to say I did actually quite enjoy some of the kills here. I mean, I'm not a big slasher fan, so bear this in mind. But I have seen some critiques saying that they didn't think the kills were particularly good. I actually found the kills to be quite varied, if I'm honest. There's everything from, obviously sort of traps that remind you of kind of the Saw, with this guy kind of getting his head chopped off with this weight. We've got a large stone crucifix being dropped on someone through various kind of stabbings and kind of stuff like that. So I actually found the kind of the body count quite a kind of a mix of different kind of ways that kind of people go out. So I thought they actually did a fairly good job of having some kind of variety and that sort of thing. The killer itself is somewhat kind of unique in the fact that he is very quick on his feet. That kind of takes a little bit away from the slow lumbering types in the likes of Jason Voorhees and kind of Michael Myers. This guy is pretty nimble. Again, it very much reminds you of Ghostface. So I feel this movie is very, very influenced by Scream, and it's relatively kind of gory in certain areas. The thing that annoys me about this movie more than anything else is the silly way the police are portrayed, because they are portrayed to be some huge dumbasses. I mean, they're bordering on incompetence here, considering that the police is really our POV character. Omar Epps is kind of our main kind of character. He does kind of share the screen time with this kind of like survivor of the first, like this young girl. But more or less, he is our protagonist, and him and his kind of like his police friends, man, they get played so often in this movie. It really kind of makes you think the police, in this movie at least, are a huge bunch of idiots. Sometimes I feel the acting was a little ropey, even from more veteran actors like Omar Epps and Jamie Kennedy, who I feel really are particularly kind of hammy in this movie. It perhaps is the fault of the script as well, to a certain degree. I don't feel this movie is like creakingly badly acted. Like, you know, we're not talking plan line from outer space or anything like that, but nonetheless, I feel some of the acting here is a little bit kind of on the weaker side. And the only other thing I would say, really, without kind of giving away spoilers, is just the logic of the film to me seems a little bit sort of suspect. When the inevitable twist is revealed, I'm thinking, how has this been orchestrated? You know, how have these people been indoctrinated? Is all I'll say. So overall, it's a watchable slasher film. I actually quite enjoyed it. It's fairly fast paced. I'll liken it to the new Star Wars movie. What's it called? The Rise of Skywalker, which I enjoyed for lots of kind of like entertainment value, lots of fun, but it really falls apart on closer inspection if you are looking at plot and kind of logic and stuff like that. And if you want to really kind of poke holes, well, Star Wars, you don't need to poke too hard, but yeah, there's just lots of things that will fall apart if you think about it too much. But if you just want to watch it as an entertainment movie, then I feel this movie is entertaining. And I'll give it the same marks I gave Rise of Skywalker, 6 out of 10. I actually thought it was an entertaining movie at least, albeit not one that is particularly sensical and logical necessarily. So 6 out of 10, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.